Hello and welcome. My name is George Schlackick.
The one and only.
Yes, it's another episode of Bicycle Touring Talk. Traveling on a bicycle has been my passion for many years. Barbara got into it more or less because of me, but also because she was open to the experience. Touring together has made our relationship much stronger, and we have both grown tremendously from the experience. The Colombia tours were some of the highlights of our shared adventures. I hope that even if you've never toured on a bicycle, or perhaps Colombia is the last place you'd go to do that, you will get something out of this video. But at the same time, I know that not everyone is interested in bicycle touring videos, and the way I'm doing them might need some tweaking too. Problem with this material is that it was all recorded with good intentions, but it's been over 4 years, and my video making has evolved. Today, I would approach the whole project in a different way and probably learn a whole lot more hard lessons before finally making proper travel videos that still stand out from what you normally see on YouTube. But here's the thing. The Colombia tours, especially this first one we did in 2019, were something completely new for us. Neither one of us had ever been to Colombia. Barbara almost didn't want to go because we had seen so many negative reports about that country. Some of the areas we traveled through were, and perhaps are still, on official government travel advisories. Colombia has seen much political instability and violence throughout its history. Corruption is expected here, and drug cartels used to run the entire country at times. People often raise their eyebrows when I just mention the words bicycle touring and Colombia in the same sentence. We were not oblivious regarding the risks, but through previous bicycle tours, I had learned that much of the negative things you hear about Latin American countries are exaggerated, outdated, and perhaps even designed to scare you off. The truth is that those countries have a lot to offer. We met some wonderful people in Colombia and had great times. People are most genuine where tourists won't normally go. On a bicycle, you have easy access to those places because you don't rely on airports, taxis, or bus routes. You are slow, but pretty much independent. Curiosity always motivates me to travel that way, and isn't that the very definition of adventure? Well, in this video, we deviate from all that. After 4 fantastic days and nights in Taganga, Barbara and I had to think about getting back to Bogota. We didn't have enough time to ride our bikes the entire way, but we're thinking of exploring a few places we hadn't seen on our way north. Early in the morning on January 7th, we left Taganga. It wasn't hot yet, but the hills to get out of the bay were still challenging. Our destination for the day was Agua Chica, a city we had already been to. It was almost 400 kilometers away, which meant that we were traveling on a bus. For the first time, we'd be cutting off much of the way and avoid some very dangerous sections of highway. The ride to the bus terminal was only about 10 kilometers. The terminal was huge, but finding the right bus and getting the tickets was easy. They were inexpensive, but I don't recall the exact price. We had to pay 50% extra for our bicycles, which seemed completely reasonable.
So we're at the bus terminal at Santa Marta, and this is for me a first time ever experience.
I was major worried about how our bikes were going to be loaded onto the bus, but it turned out to be no big deal at all. The bus was big, with a luggage compartment tall enough to accommodate both our bikes standing up and well secured.
We're on a very comfortable bus, and we're just happy to get a ride because we're going to bypass all the highway that's most dangerous for us. So it's good.
That bus was modern, comfortable, and a bit too well cooled with air conditioning. Once we were on the road, it was nothing special. Agua Chica wasn't the final destination of the bus, and there wasn't much of a terminal. It was a kind of relief to retrieve our bikes with all the luggage fully intact. We were now in a part of Agua Chica that wasn't too far off the highway, but unfamiliar to us. The drop-off was basically at a fuel stop for trucks and buses. But hey, there was a guy going around looking for people like us. This kind of thing usually makes me uneasy, because often those guys work for commission, for some hotel or something else that doesn't get disclosed. Well, in this case, it turned out to be okay. The guy was indeed guiding us toward a hotel that was tipping him. And he recommended a local restaurant as well, and might have been on their payroll too. The good thing here was that he didn't try to hide it in any way, and that his recommendations were top-notch. The hotel was clean, with friendly staff and reasonably priced. See, Agua Chica isn't a place that gets a lot of tourists. We had a quiet night after a good meal of typical Colombian pollo a la plancha at this restaurant. The next day, it was back to the old grind on the Ruta del Sol. That big expressway. Heading back south the same way we had come.
So it's kind of day one since we left the beach, and we're on the main highway. Nice shoulder. Temperature's mild right now. It's gonna heat up by noon, like 35 degrees or so.
I have very little recollection of that day at all, probably because we had already seen this part. What I do know is that we covered about 62 kilometers and ended up in a small village called Libano. This was after we asked someone where the nearest hotel was. Libano is a little bit off the main highway, and it was pretty quiet. The hotel was Hospedaje Casanare. It was budget-friendly and offered all the basic amenities, was well kept and clean, but it was small, simple, and old. We left that place the next morning, February 9th. Over the next 4 days, we covered about 240 kilometers, all but the last few on the Ruta del Sol. Much of the way it was déjà vu, except that it was the other way around. I will not tell you all the details, as it wasn't really anything new even for us. We stayed at some more truck stop hotels, some of which were quite new. Here is some select footage from that journey. We're just about a kilometer and a half from our hotel. It's nice this morning, it's not too hot, and it's just super comfortable. We got to take advantage of it, get as many kilometers done before it gets hot. We even met another bicycle touring couple from the Netherlands.
Okay, February 19th, February 11th, 2019. Part 2 of the brake repair. George is threading this bike cord through.
Probably better off with the wrench, but this is much quicker.
And it's perfecto.
My lucky day. Yay. What we're doing now is we call it shade hopping. We ride from one shady spot to the next, and we try to make it about maybe 1.5 to 2 kilometers, and take a break in the shade. That's the best way to deal with the heat.
But we also witnessed a dog get run over. Probably only 7 o'clock, but sun is out already. Might get a hot day. They cut all these trees because now there's no shade. On the 12th, we rolled into the town of Puerto Berrio, where we booked 2 nights at a great hotel right in the center of town. At that point, we had no idea what to do next. Time was really running out for our trip. We had our room in Bogota already booked for the 19th. We were gonna sleep over that for now, but knew that some decisions had to be made about how to get back to Bogota in time for our return flight, while perhaps doing something other than we had already done for the better part of 2 months, which was riding on highway shoulders. It seemed impossible to get to Medellin, except perhaps by bus. We could probably take a different route away from the toll road and reach the town of Honda, then take a bus back to Bogota from there. I'll let you know what happened in the next episode. I can promise you that it was more exciting than riding on highway shoulders all day long and sleeping in budget hotels. Join me for it. Before you move on to the next video, please tickle that like button for me. Thanks for your support. And I'll see you soon.